Good day everyone, so with Kokomi's rerun just around the corner, I thought now might be a good time to relook at some of the reasons as to why she's such a good and flexible unit. Now to help me today, I'm going to present to you this infographic which we call the Wheel of Kokomi. If you're interested, the link to this is down below in the description. But what this infographic shows you is all of the different teams in which you can use Kokomi, all of the different team compositions you can put together and have Kokomi as a central unit in enabling them. So for instance, if you like Kokomi, you can play her for her supportive capabilities in an Ayaka freeze team, thereby helping Ayaka get the attack buff from Thrilling Tales and freezing the enemies, so Ayaka's Blizzard Strayer set can work. So that's just one example. Or you can use Kokomi in Nila Blooms, where she's actively triggering the Bountiful Course and doing damage whilst healing the team. So you can definitely see that there are different flavors to using Kokomi. Some are more off-field, some are more on-field. And a lot of people might say that, well, what's really enabling this is the Jellyfish and the Hydra application, but I'd argue that that's not the only thing that enables it. So if you'll just indulge me, let's look at a bit of a different infographic, and this is one that I've created myself. And as you can see here, this little pie chart shows you the 5 things that Kokomi does simultaneously. So yes, she's got AoE off-field Hydra applications, she's got on-field Hydra application, she's got healing, she's got the ability to deal a not insignificant amount of damage. So either through Vanilla Bloom teams you can do a lot, or on her own the Ocean Newt Clam or Elemental Burst attacks can be quite, it can make up a significant portion. You can also tank with Kokomi, and obviously you have her attacks being multi-range, so they can hone in on enemies, they can follow up enemies, they can help trigger Xingqiu and Yelan and guide those attacks, those coordinated attacks from those elemental bursts. It really is amazing what Kokomi can enable once you get to the depths of this character. So as you can clearly see, the big reason why Kokomi is so good is because she can fulfill all of these multiple different roles at the same time. We call it role consolidation. You see, when you have other healers in the game, those healers can also do damage, but you would have to build them for damage because the majority of their damage is locked behind crit rate and crit damage. But with Kokomi, you can build her in one way without really compromising on all of the other aspects that makes her so good. That is her unique function. For other healers in the game, you can get better healing than Kokomi, but then you won't have the ranged attacks or the damage that can follow up, or even sometimes the Hydra application, depending on who that other healer is. With Kokomi, you can build her in that specific way, and she is just so flexible. But this also leads me into my second point. The reason that Kokomi is good is not just because she is this jack of all trades kind of like character. What is so good is that the flexibility within each of those areas is also so good. So let me give you an example. In Nila Bloom teams, Kokomi is the one that you can use actively to manage the auras on the enemy, the Dendro Hydro auras. And what's cool is you can take away Hydra application or you can ramp it up, as I've explained in detail elsewhere on my Nila videos. And what's so impressive is that you can do careful aura management onto the enemies, and this is precisely because Kokomi's Hydra application in and of itself is flexible. This is unlike other Hydro application or other Hydro users in the game, for instance like Xingqiu or Yelan, where their primary Hydro application is tied to a normal attack and it is tied to an elemental burst, whereas here with Kokomi you don't need her elemental burst. If you just have Kokomi on field and obviously the Jellyfish, you can ramp up or you can just ramp down the Hydra application. There is that flexibility of the unit, and I think that is what makes her so solid. When you need her more on field, she can be more on field like an Ataza team to drive it. If you want her to be just off field and be supportive, you can run her in the freeze team. If you want her to tank all of the Nila Bloom damage or heavy hits from the enemies, you can put her onto the field. It's a valid strategy to use Kokomi's massive HP pool in that way. If you want to juggle the enemies freeze like I've done in one of my recent videos and do massive fall damage, you can do so as well. If you want to ensure that the Thunderbird that's dashing all over gets hit, you can do that because Kokomi's got these multi-ranged attacks. When you're running a Nilo Bloom team and the enemies are spread out, well, as long as you can tag them with Nehida, Kokomi can get the Hydra to them, and there you go, you can make more bloom explosions. So hopefully you guys are starting to get a good sense of why Kokomi is so good. It is precisely because she can fulfill these multiple roles, but within those roles there is flexibility. I didn't really touch into too much of these little details, but you can imagine, like with the healing, you can either have her on field and do lots of healing for the entire party, or you just have the jellyfish. You can play Kokomi for either one of the two or for both simultaneously, and this is what makes her a bit more unique than, let's say, other characters where you have to stand within a little circle to heal up your current character, or you only get like a once team-wide elemental like burst that heals up the party. That's not what Kokomi does. She just has the flexibility for you to decide how you want to slot it in. And that flexibility means that when you have other teammates that are more demanding of field time, you can fit her in easy, or if you want Kokomi to be the one taking all the field time because the rest of your team members might be too squishy like Anila Blooms, well, your Kokomi can fill that up. So this is what I mean. It's just so good how well they've designed Kokomi and how well she can fit into all of these different roles, how malleable she is. And I think just as a final point, yes, we understand that in something like a Ayaka freeze team against a single target boss that you are better off using Mona because mathematically you will get that extra bit more damage out. We understand that there are situations in which another character can do the role better than Kokomi, but the thing that makes Kokomi unique is that once you use Kokomi, it doesn't take much to swap her role into another role, whereas for instance with Mona, you're not going to get the same amount of success in a Taser or in a Nilo Bloom team as an example. And this is just what makes Kokomi so unique. She's got this multi-role facility, and so from a pull value perspective, you only need to get her at C0. Her artifacts are very flexible due to the HP scaling nature, and there you go. You've got a very good solid unit that you can put into a variety of situations, works with a great amount of the cast, and yes, you can always outperform her in certain niches, but I'd argue that on the whole of it, it's just Kokomi is just she's just Kokomi. It's just so good. But in any case, guys, thank you for listening in. That is what I've got to say, and good luck for all of you that are pulling on Kokomi. Let me know how it went. Cheers.